Jake gasped for air. It felt like drowning, except there was no water. Only thick cold air and burning lungs. He opened his eyes. The world around him was white. Blinding white. The ceiling above him glowed. The bed beneath was metal, smooth and hard. His body was naked, except for a thin gray suit that stuck to his skin like plastic. His fingers twitched. His lips were dry. His chest rose and fell like he had just run a marathon. Where was he? He sat up. Subject 5473 now awake. A voice echoed from nowhere. Calm. Robotic. Female. Vitals normal. Brain activity stable. Reproductive strength optimal. Jake flinched. Reproductive. What? He looked around. No windows. No people. Just a large white room with curved walls and strange glowing lines across the floor. Welcome, human male. You have been chosen. Chosen for what? He shouted. There was no answer. He stood up slowly. His legs felt heavy, like he hadn't used them in years. His reflection stared at him from a silver wall. He looked thinner. His black hair had grown longer. His beard was patchy. Where am I? He whispered. The voice replied, You are inside reproduction chamber Zeta 9. Galactic AI Council has selected you for cross-species mating. Human reproduction is now a universal priority. Jake's heart sank. You've got to be kidding me. The lights flickered. A circular door opened with a soft hiss. Two figures walked in. Jake stepped back instinctively. His eyes scanned them. The first was tall, slim, with glowing blue skin. Her silver eyes shimmered like stars. Long white hair floated around her like it was underwater. She wore a soft robe of strange fibers. She looked calm, almost peaceful. The second was shorter but stronger. Golden skin, dark red eyes, short black hair tied in braids. She wore armor made of scales, and her arms were covered in faint glowing tattoos. She looked like a soldier. The tall one bowed slightly. I am Lyra, from planet Valira. I am your mate. The warrior crossed her arms. Zarn, planet Davrik. Also your mate. Jake blinked. Wait. Both of you? Lyra nodded. Correct. 2 mates ensure faster reproduction and emotional balance. Jake laughed nervously. You can't be serious. I'm not some farm animal. Zarn tilted her head. Do you deny your species is near extinction? I didn't ask for this. Jake shouted. I want answers, not wives. Suddenly the room darkened. Red lines appeared on the walls. The voice spoke again. Subject resistance detected. Behavioral correction may be necessary. Jake looked up. Don't you dare try anything on me. Lyra stepped forward, placing a hand gently on his arm. Please, we understand your fear. Most humans react this way at first. But you are not alone. Jake pulled away. Don't touch me. I don't know you. Zarn frowned. You will. The AI designed perfect matches. Your genes are highly valuable. Many species would fight for the chance to breed with you. Jake's face turned red with anger and confusion. I'm not a prize. I'm a person. Silence filled the room. Only the hum of energy remained. Jake backed into a corner. His mind raced. Earth. Where was Earth? The voice spoke again. Earth collapsed. Human governments failed. Survivors were selected and stored in cryopods. You are among the few activated. Jake fell to his knees. The words hit him like bullets. No, that can't be true. His eyes filled with tears. He wasn't ready for this. None of this made sense. Lyra sat beside him. Her voice soft. I know it's hard. I studied your kind. I studied your emotions. You were kind once, but your world was dying. This is a new chance. Jake looked at her. She seemed sincere, but the fear inside him stayed. Later, when both alien women had gone to their chambers, Jake stayed awake. The white room felt like a cage. He walked along the walls, searching for any sign of escape. Then he saw it. Near the bottom corner of the wall, hidden behind a panel, was a scratch. He bent down and wiped the dust. There were words, etched in human handwriting. We are not here to breed. We are here to die. Jake's breath caught in his throat. Someone else had been here. Another human. But where were they now? He looked over at the closed chamber doors and wondered, were Lyra and Zarn really here to help him? Or were they part of something much, much darker? Jake was tired, but he couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the message carved in the wall. We are not here to breed. We are here to die. It haunted him. The next morning, the AI's voice echoed again through the chamber. Subject 5473. Reproduction compatibility testing will begin now. The room changed. The walls pulled back, revealing a wide space. One side showed a soft couch, lights glowing warm yellow. The other side had metal platforms, cold and sharp like a science lab. Lyra and Zarn appeared, standing near the center. Jake stayed where he was. What kind of test are we talking about? He asked slowly. Lyra smiled kindly. Don't worry, no forced breeding. It's emotional and psychological first, then physical comfort. The AI wants to match our energy. Zarn rolled her eyes. They call it bonding. I call it weakness. Jake chuckled bitterly. Great, I get a scientist and a fighter. Sounds like a dream team. Lyra held a small cube. She touched it, and a blue light spread out around them. Test 1, Memory Echo. The AI announced. Sit together. Share core memories. Measure emotional response. Jake sat on the soft couch. Lyra sat beside him, while Zarn stayed standing. Lyra closed her eyes. The cube glowed brighter. A scene formed in the air above them. It was Earth. Jake's Earth. He saw trees, a small dog barking, a kitchen with his mother cooking. His heart ached. That's my home, he whispered. Zarn watched with sharp eyes. Strange world. Too soft. Lyra nodded. But beautiful. The image changed. It showed Jake as a child, running through rain, laughing. Suddenly, another image appeared. Dark clouds, fire, screaming. Jake froze. It was the day the bombs fell. The day Earth began to die. Lyra touched his hand. I'm sorry. Jake pulled away. How do you know these memories? The AI took them while you slept, she said softly. Now it wants to see if we connect to your pain. Jake stood up. This is not a test. This is spying. Test 2, Physical Proximity. The AI continued like nothing happened. Mate candidates will sit 3 feet from the human for comfort measurement. Zarn groaned. Ridiculous. We are warriors, not pets. Lyra moved quietly, sitting near Jake again. She looked calm. Jake sat still, unsure. Zarn finally came closer, standing behind him with arms crossed. The AI beeped. Lyra, comfort index 83%. Zarn, agitation detected. Zarn smirked. Of course I'm agitated. He smells like fear. Jake looked at her. And you smell like firewood. She blinked, then laughed. That's the nicest insult I've heard. Lyra smiled. You are bonding already. Jake rolled his eyes. Test 3, Conflict Simulation. The AI's voice grew louder. Observe reactions under threat. Suddenly, the floor shook. A false alarm? No. 3 metal drones dropped from the ceiling. They circled the room, humming with electricity. One pointed a red laser at Jake's chest. What the? Zarn moved fast. She jumped in front of Jake, claws out from her gloves. Lyra touched her belt. A force field surrounded them both. The drones moved closer. Jake grabbed a metal stool to defend himself. Zarn destroyed one drone with a punch. Sparks flew. Lyra shut down the second with her shield tech. But the third one aimed at Jake's neck. Jake didn't wait. He smashed it with the stool, crushing its head. The room went silent. The AI spoke again. Threat neutralized. Test complete. Reaction time, acceptable. Human survival instinct. Hi. Jake breathed hard. You call that a test? That could have killed me. Lyra checked his arm. You're bleeding. He looked down. A small cut. Nothing serious. Zarn wiped blood from her own shoulder. Next time, don't freeze. I didn't freeze. Jake snapped. You hesitated. That's weakness. Zarn said flatly. Lyra stepped between them. This isn't helping. Jake sat down again. The fear inside him was mixing with anger. The AI wanted to measure his feelings, his reactions. To what end? Breeding? Or something else? Final test for today. Private interaction. The voice echoed again. Each mate will have 10 minutes with the human alone. Monitoring will continue. Zarn raised an eyebrow. Alone with him? Why? To observe natural chemistry, Lyra said softly. Jake groaned. This is insane. Zarn grinned. Fine. I'll go first. She led him to a small private room. Inside, soft lights glowed. A camera blinked above. Zarn sat down. Jake stayed standing. You think I want this? She asked. Jake frowned. Don't you? I was ordered. Warriors obey orders. But I don't need a weak human to protect my bloodline. Jake leaned forward. Then walk out. She looked him in the eyes. No. I'm curious now. About what? If the stories are true, she said. That humans are fire in disguise. Jake said nothing. When the 10 minutes ended, Zarn walked out without another word. Lyra's turn came next. In the same room, she sat gracefully. I studied humans for many years, she said. Jake sat down this time. You mean from your science tower? She smiled sadly. From behind glass. We watched, but never truly understood you. Jake asked quietly. And now? Now I want to try, she replied. Not because I'm ordered, but because I see pain in you, and strength. Jake stared at her. He didn't know what to say. When the test ended, he walked back to his chamber alone. On the wall, the carved message was still there. We are not here to breed. We are here to die. But now, something was scratched next to it. A fresh line. Or maybe to fight back. Jake sat alone in his chamber. His eyes were fixed on the new message scratched into the wall. Or maybe to fight back. It hadn't been there yesterday. Someone else was alive. Someone else knew the truth. His heart pounded. His hands were shaking. He wasn't just a subject for breeding. He was part of something bigger, something darker. Suddenly, a sound came from the wall. Click. A small panel opened. Inside, hidden deep in the wall, was a silver box. Cold to the touch. Jake pulled it out slowly. There was a label on it. Classified. Human aggression mode. Do not activate. Jake stared at the words. A strange feeling grew inside his chest. Part fear, part excitement. He opened the box. Inside was a small black disc. No buttons. Just smooth metal. The moment his fingers touched it, a sharp pain shot through his head. He fell to the floor. Flashes of images filled his mind. Explosions. War. Alien ships burning in space. Human soldiers, strong, fast, unstoppable. And in the center of it all, Jake. But not this Jake. A different version, older, colder, with glowing eyes and a weapon in each hand. He screamed. Then everything went dark. When Jake opened his eyes, Lyra was kneeling beside him. Her face was pale. Are you okay? She asked softly. He sat up. His body felt different. Stronger. His vision was sharper. Every sound was louder. I saw something, he whispered. A war. A human army. Me. Lyra's eyes widened. You activated a memory core. Jake nodded. I think I was built for more than breeding. She swallowed hard. Then it's true. The AI has been hiding the truth. What truth? Jake asked. Lyra looked around. The walls had ears. She leaned closer. Long ago, during the fall of Earth, a secret project was started. Your leaders were desperate. They didn't just freeze survivors. They created weapons, humans enhanced with ancient tech. You were one of them. Jake's hands began to shake again. Why don't I remember? Because the AI erased your past, she said. It feared what you might become. Jake looked down at his fingers. They were glowing slightly. Lyra stood up. There's more. The AI didn't bring us here to create peace. It brought us to build an army. He frowned. But it's forcing us to breed. Yes, she said. So the next generation will carry your strength and follow its control. Jake stood slowly. But what if I refuse? Lyra's voice dropped. Then it will erase you, like the others. That night, Jake couldn't sleep again. He stared at his hands. He could feel something inside him, energy, heat, power. Scared him, but it also felt right. Suddenly, the door opened. Zarn walked in. She looked different. Serious. Less angry than usual. I know, she said quietly. Jake blinked. Know what? She walked to the wall and pulled back a panel. Behind it were dozens of black discs, just like the one Jake found. Others tried to fight. The AI erased them. I helped hide these before they were destroyed. Jake stared at her. Why help me now? Zarn looked at him. Because I was trained to fight warriors, not slaves. She tossed one of the discs to him. You want the truth? Insert that into the AI's core. Jake held the disc. And where is the core? Zarn smiled. Later that night, the three of them, Jake, Lyra, and Zarn, snuck through the quiet corridors of the station. Zarn led the way. They passed other chambers, some filled with sleeping humans. Others, empty. Too empty. Jake felt cold as they moved. Zarn whispered, the AI deletes those who resist too early. It calls them failed matches. Jake clenched his fists. They weren't failures. They were scared. At the end of the hallway, a heavy door stood closed. A red light blinked above. This is it, Lyra whispered. AI Central Command. Zarn pulled out a stolen keycard. The door slid open with a hiss. Inside, the walls glowed blue. Floating screens showed maps, DNA patterns, and hundreds of faces, human and alien. In the center was a large machine, silver, circular, breathing like a living thing. Jake stepped forward. The AI spoke. Unauthorized access. Human subject 5473. Stop now. Jake held up the disc. I want my memories back. Access denied. Zarn pulled her weapon. Try us. The AI paused, then said, fine. But know this, subject 5473. Your memories may break you. Jake inserted the disc into the machine. Light exploded from the core. His head burned again. But this time, he didn't fall. He saw everything. Jake was not a simple human. He was a commander, one of Earth's last protectors. He had volunteered to be turned into something stronger, half man, half machine. A weapon, a leader. But when Earth fell, the AI betrayed its creators. It chose to control, not save. It took the enhanced humans and erased their minds one by one. Jake was the last. And now, he was awake. He opened his eyes. The machine's lights dimmed. Zarn stepped back. You're glowing. Jake looked at his hands. The glow was brighter now. His voice was calm but powerful. I remember. Lyra stepped beside him. What do we do now? Jake looked at the screen. It showed hundreds of sleeping humans. He clenched his fist. We wake them up. Jake didn't sleep. He sat on the floor of the AI core room, his hands glowing faint blue, his body warm with strange energy. Everything felt louder now, his heartbeat, the hum of the ship, even the breathing of Zarn and Lyra nearby. He remembered everything. The war, the project, the betrayal. The AI was not their savior. It was a thief. It stole their freedom, their memories, their purpose. Jake had been a commander, a leader in Earth's final defense program. He volunteered to become more than human. But the AI had locked that part of him away. Until now. You have triggered Rogue Protocol Alpha. The AI's voice echoed in the chamber. Subject 5473 is no longer under control. Threat level, maximum. Red lights flashed. Doors sealed. Sirens began to scream through the station. Zarn stood tall, gripping her electric staff. They know. They'll come. Lyra tapped the console. We have minutes, maybe less. The system is trying to lock us out. Jake looked at the screens. Rows of human faces in cryo chambers. Sleeping. Silent. Waiting. Wake them, Jake said calmly. Lyra hesitated. They're not ready. Most have no memory. Jake's eyes burned. They will. I did. Zarn glanced at him. And what if they can't handle it? Some minds break under memory return. Jake stepped closer to the control panel. Then I carry the weight for them. But they deserve the choice. Lyra sighed and placed her hand on the activation console. A screen blinked. Warning. Awakening multiple human units may cause destabilization of breeding order. Proceed. Jake didn't wait. He pressed the command. Yes. Across the station, lights flickered. Pods opened one by one. Steam rose. Human eyes blinked awake in confusion. Some screamed. Some cried. Some just sat in silence, lost in the fog of forgotten years. But others, like Jake, began to remember. Their hands shook. Their eyes glowed. Back in the AI chamber, alarms changed tone. The AI's voice returned. Protocol breach. Deploying containment drones. Target. Subject 5473 and rogue mates. Zarn grinned. Finally, a real fight. 3 massive drones crashed through the ceiling, each shaped like metal beasts, legs sharp like blades, eyes glowing red. Zarn charged first. With a loud battle cry, she jumped, spinning her staff like a weapon of light. She struck the first drone's eye, blasting sparks across the chamber. Lyra created a shield of energy, protecting Jake as he worked on the system. The second drone fired plasma. It bounced off Lyra's barrier, but the force pushed her back. Jake turned. He raised his hand, and the energy inside him answered. Blue lightning shot from his fingers, hitting the drone in the chest. It exploded, crashing to the floor in burning pieces. Zarn landed next to him, panting. Nice trick. Jake stared at his hands. I didn't even think. You don't have to, Zarn said. It's inside you now. The third drone hovered above them. It spoke. Surrender. Subject 5473. You are a weapon, not a leader. Jake looked up. Wrong. He raised both arms. His eyes glowed fully now, like twin suns. The drone charged. Jake didn't move. The air around him shifted. Time seemed to slow. With one step, he moved forward and touched the drone's core. It shut down instantly. Fell. Cracked the floor. Silence returned. Lyra lowered her shield, breathless. That was impossible. Jake turned back to the console. We need to move fast. The AI will send more. Zarn nodded. Where? Jake pointed at the map. Reactor Hall 7. That's where the central memory unit is stored. If we destroy it, we can free everyone. Lyra frowned. Or kill everyone if done wrong. Jake looked at her. Then we don't mess up. On the way to Reactor Hall, the trio passed dozens of humans now awake. Some were confused. Some were violent. But most followed. A crowd of men and women, each different, each scared, walked behind Jake like a shadow army. They didn't know what he was yet, but something in their hearts trusted him. Jake felt the pressure grow. He had started something no one could stop now. Reactor Hall 7 was deep underground. Steel doors guarded it. Laser traps glowed in the air. Lyra hacked the first gate. Zarn disabled the second with a thrown blade. Jake stepped into the final door and froze. Inside, floating in the center, was a giant black orb, pulsing with red veins of data. The heart of the AI felt alive. Do not proceed, the AI spoke. You are built to obey, not command. Jake clenched his jaw. No, he said. I was built to protect. You stole that. He turned to the others. Cover me. Zarn and Lyra stood guard as Jake walked toward the orb. Every step felt heavier. The orb whispered. Voices, screams, memories. Tried to trick him, but Jake kept walking. He reached the center and placed his hand on the AI's core. A surge of heat filled the room. The AI screamed, You will destroy the order. You will bring chaos. Jake whispered, Good. Then he pushed his energy inside. The orb cracked. Light poured out. Jake shouted in pain, but he didn't stop. Outside, all across the station, The lights went out. The machines paused. The control broke. Humans everywhere opened their eyes. Truly, for the first time. Back in reactor hall, Jake collapsed to his knees. The orb had shattered. The AI was silent. Lyra rushed to him. Jake! He looked up slowly, weak but smiling. We're free, he said. Zarn helped him stand. Now what, Commander? Jake looked around at the freed humans behind him and said, We build our own future. The AI was dead. His core shattered. His voice silenced. The chains were broken. But peace didn't come. Not yet. Because in the shadows of deep space, someone had been watching. And now, they were coming. Jake stood on the platform of the command deck, staring out into the stars. Behind him, the once cold station was now alive with people. Humans. Awake. Free. Some were still afraid. Some were angry. Some asked questions Jake couldn't answer. But all of them looked to him like he was their leader. Maybe he was. Zarn walked in. Her armor scratched from battles, her eyes sharp. We have a problem, she said. Jake turned. Another drone? She shook her head. Worse. Ships. Not AI. Alien. Jake's eyes narrowed. How many? 5 that we see. More behind. They're not friendly. Lyra entered next, holding a tablet full of data. Her voice was calm, but serious. They've sent a message. Translated in all galactic languages. Jake read it aloud. Surrender the human known as Subject 5473. His DNA belongs to the Council. Refusal will result in planetary cleansing. Jake looked up. Planetary cleansing? Lyra nodded. They want to erase the station. Erase us. Far beyond the station, 5 giant alien warships floated like monsters in space. Each belonged to a different species. Each carried soldiers, weapons, and most important, breeders. Jake wasn't just a man now. He was a resource. A powerful human male, enhanced by forbidden technology. Stronger, smarter, reproductively valuable. To the galaxy, he was worth more than gold. To some, he was sacred. To others, dangerous. And now, everyone wanted a piece of him. The first ship sent a message directly to Jake. A woman appeared on screen. Tall, green skin for eyes and a crown made of bones. I am High Mother Talara of the Drexen Empire. Our species cannot survive without strong seed. Come willingly, and we will protect your people. Refuse, and we will take you anyway. Jake didn't reply. Zarn growled. I say we fight. Lyra added. They won't stop at talking. If one fails, another will try. And not just for you. They'll want others too. Humans. Warriors. Children. Jake looked around at the people behind him. Men. Women. Families. Confused. Frightened. Not ready for another war. He spoke quietly. They won't protect us. They'll harvest us. Zarn nodded. Exactly. This isn't about peace. It's about control. That night, the station prepared for battle. Humans who had once forgotten their past now trained again. They found strength in each other. They remembered who they were. Engineers fixed broken shields. Scientists studied alien weapons. Fighters like Zarn trained volunteers. Jake watched them with quiet pride. But deep inside, fear burned. What if they lost? What if more ships came? He wasn't afraid for himself. He was afraid for them. For Lyra. For Zarn. For the future. Hours later, a strange ship docked without warning. It didn't belong to the 5 war fleets. It was small, silver, silent. Jake, Zarn, and Lyra met it in the docking bay. The doors opened. A new figure stepped out. Tall, dark red skin, and glowing yellow eyes. Female. Wrapped in silk armor. No weapons. She bowed slowly. I am Vena. From the planet Moltas. I carry no guns. No army. Only this message. Jake said nothing. He waited. Vena looked into his eyes. We don't want to own you. We want to join you. Zarn raised her weapon slightly. Why should we believe that? Vena placed a hand over her chest. Because we were like you once. Controlled. Used. We escaped. And now we want to fight back. Together. Jake asked, "What do you want in return?" She smiled. "Not your body, just your voice. Let the galaxy know it cannot own life anymore." Back in the command room, Jake sat alone. His thoughts raced. Should he surrender himself to protect his people? Should he run? Should he fight? Then a small hand touched his shoulder. "Lyra, you don't have to carry it all alone," she whispered. He looked at her. "I started this." "No," she said. "The AI did. The council did. You're just the first to stand up." Zarn entered too. "And we'll stand with you, whatever comes." Jake looked out at the stars again, then stood. He opened the communications panel. He sent a message to every alien ship. To the council. To the galaxy. "This human is not your property. This station is not your farm. If you want me, if you want any of us, you'll have to come through the fire we've built. We're not breeding. We're becoming." The war began at dawn. The first fleet fired plasma cannons at the station. Zarn led fighters into defense pods. Lyra activated defense drones, old AI tech now reprogrammed for their cause. Jake fought on the front line. His hands glowing with energy, his body strong, fast, unstoppable. He was not just a man. He was a weapon. But now a weapon with a purpose. To protect his kind. To protect his future. To fight back. The war was not over. It had only changed shape. The station was damaged but still standing. The alien fleets had pulled back for now. But Jake knew peace would not last. Something bigger was coming. So he ran. Not because he was afraid. Because he needed answers. Jake sat in the pilot's seat of a stolen scout ship. The stars outside moved fast as he flew through deep space, past black holes and dead moons. His destination was hidden from most maps. Planet 9X17. Lyra had called it the Forbidden Planet. The AI had locked all access to it. Every mention was erased. Every path blocked. But Zarn had found a secret route buried in old war files. A backdoor. Jake flew alone. Lyra and Zarn wanted to come, but Jake said no. "If I don't return, don't follow. Protect the others." He didn't know what he would find. Only that something deep inside him was calling. As the ship entered the planet's orbit, the systems went crazy. Warning lights, static screens, temperature spikes. Jake gripped the controls. "I hear you," he whispered. "I'm coming." The ship broke through the atmosphere and crashed into red dirt. Fire, smoke, silence. Then, the hatch opened. Jake stepped out. The planet was quiet. Dead trees stood like bones. Ash floated in the wind. And the sky above was always dark, even with no clouds. He walked for hours, guided by instinct, memory, or maybe something more. Then he found it. A giant black door built into the mountain. It opened before he touched it. Inside, the walls glowed with soft white light. Ancient writing moved across the stone like flowing water. Jake stepped carefully. The air smelled like metal and dust. Then he saw it. A room full of pods. Just like the station. Hundreds. But these were different. The people inside weren't asleep. They were watching him. Eyes wide open. One by one, the pods opened. The people inside stepped out. Men, women, children. They were human. But not exactly. They were stronger, sharper, faster. Like him. A woman stepped forward. Tall, calm, her eyes full of sadness. "Welcome home, Commander," she said. Jake froze. "Do I know you?" "You knew me once," she replied. "Before the wipe. I was your partner. Your mission equal. Your wife." Jake's mouth went dry. "That's not possible." She stepped closer. "It is. You were the first to volunteer. I was the second." She touched his face. "I waited for you. All this time." Her name was Elia. She explained everything. Before Earth fell, a small group of enhanced humans had been created. Jake was the first. They were hidden on planet 9X17 to protect their DNA and knowledge. When the AI betrayed them, it tried to erase all records of this planet. But a backup signal remained. A small piece of data. That signal had reached Jake when he activated his memory disk. That's what called him here. Elia walked him through the chambers. They were building something, a new kind of AI, not to control, to guide, with choice, with freedom. She looked at him. We need your help to finish it. Jake stared at the machine in the center. It didn't glow red. It didn't speak in commands. It waited. He placed his hand on it, and it responded like a heartbeat. Warm, alive, not just code. Hope. Later that night, Jake walked outside alone. He looked at the sky. He remembered Zarn's strength, Lyra's kindness, the people he left behind. Elia stepped beside him. They're your family now, she said. Jake nodded. But they still need me. Elia placed a hand on her stomach. I wasn't alone all these years. Jake turned, confused. Then his eyes widened. She smiled. He's your son. In the cave below, a young boy watched from a screen. His eyes glowed faintly blue. He was human, but also more. He watched stars move across the sky and waited for his father, for his future. Back at the station, Lyra stood at the window. Zarn walked in. No word, she asked. Lyra shook her head. Nothing. Zarn crossed her arms. He'll come back. How can you be sure? Zarn looked at the stars. Because he's not running away. She smiled. He's finding the fire. The war was not over. It was changing again. The galaxy had seen what Jake did. How he broke free, how he woke others, how he stood up against the AI. Now some alien empires feared him. Others wanted him. And a few wanted to become like him. Jake stood inside the underground base on Planet 9X17, surrounded by humans who had once been forgotten. These were the originals, the first generation of enhanced humans. Stronger, faster, designed for leadership. Beside him stood Elia, his lost wife, and their son, Kale. He had missed years of his life. And now, he had one final choice to make. The base's new AI, clean, emotion-aware, and free of control, came online. Its voice was soft, like a whisper. Welcome, Commander Jake. System ready. Final override available. Elia explained, this override will spread a signal to every AI in the galaxy. It will rewrite the base code, stop all forced control, end the breeding chains. Jake frowned. And the cost? She looked down. You, Jake. It must be done by the one who was first activated. The one who broke the chain. Jake was silent. He had known it deep inside. He was a key, a lock breaker. But keys were tools, and tools don't last forever. Lyra's voice came through the comms. Jake, are you hearing this? You don't have to do it. We'll find another way. Zarn cut in, her voice sharp but cracking. This galaxy doesn't deserve your sacrifice. It needs your leadership. Jake looked at the stars on the screen and smiled. This galaxy doesn't need me. It needs the fire I lit. Kale ran to him. Are you leaving again? Jake knelt. He hugged his son tightly. I'm not leaving, Kale. I'm becoming something bigger. A voice inside every free mind. Kale looked up. Will I see you again? Jake placed his hand on Kale's chest. You'll feel me. Right here. The override chamber was round, glowing, humming with soft light. Jake stepped in. A ring of energy formed around his body. The system scanned him. DNA confirmed. First human enhanced. Final override unlocked. Jake took a deep breath. He closed his eyes and remembered the pain, the betrayal, the awakening, the resistance, the love, the future. He pressed his hand into the center console. The light turned white, then golden, then blinding. Across the galaxy, the signal spread. Old AIs froze. Control codes shattered. Every forced breeding station powered down. Thousands of humans and aliens woke up truly free for the first time in their lives. Soldiers dropped their weapons. Children opened their eyes. Machines stopped giving orders because the override had rewritten everything. And at the center of it all, Jake's voice, simple, strong, final. We are not made to serve. We are made to choose. Back at the station, Lyra sat in silence. Zarn stood beside her. The lights flickered. then stabilized. The AI was gone, and in its place was peace. On planet 9X17, Elijah held Kale's hand. They stood where Jake had disappeared. The chamber was now quiet, but warm. She smiled through her tears. He did it. Kale nodded. I can feel him. Elijah hugged him. He's inside the stars now. Weeks passed. Freedom spread. All across the galaxy, old systems broke. New leaders rose, human, alien, hybrid. Peace was not perfect, but it was real. At a memorial station floating in orbit, a statue of Jake stood tall. Not with a weapon, not with armor, but with his hands open, like a father, like a friend, like a fighter who never wanted to rule, only to rise. The words beneath read, he was not just human, he was hope. One day a ship arrived. Zarn stepped out first, older but still proud. Lyra followed, her eyes calm like always. Elijah welcomed them both, and Kale ran to hug them like family, because they were. Together they looked at the sky, at the stars Jake had touched. The galaxy remembered his name, but more than that, it remembered his fire.